Hi everyone, I'm Ellie from Ellie's Exotics and I am joined here with Kiki today, and Kiki is my corn snake. So Kiki's going to be getting a brand new bioactive setup because her setup is just not doing well. My reptile room stays really humid because in England it does rain a lot, and because they are in a south facing room it gets really warm, so all of her plants have pretty much died. They're not doing very well because if I missed her enclosure it just gets far too humid in there for her. So I'm going to be switching it all up. I'm going to take out all of the plants and give her brand new plants that would suit her specific environment better. I'm going to go for a more arid setup I think for her. At the moment it's like kind of in the middle. It's not tropical but it's not fully desert, but I honestly think she needs to go for something with plants that do not need a lot of watering. So that's what we're going to do. But first, a little backstory about Kiki. Kiki was a rescue. She was completely free and she used to be a working animal. So when I started at my old exotic animal educator job, Kiki was given to me, and that was about 2 years ago, and she taught thousands of people in care homes, nurseries, schools not to be afraid of snakes. But when I left the company, I gave back majority of my animals, but they said, you know what, you can keep Kiki. And that's because Kiki, she kind of did scare people a little bit. Now you can see right now she's super chill, but she is not always like this. And in fact, this is the second take that I've had to do because she can be a little bit sassy. She does kind of bluff strike. She does hiss. She doesn't hate handling. I honestly think that she is just dramatic. She's your typical corn snake. She's always moving around, wanting to explore, and she's absolutely lovely, and I'm so glad that I got to keep her because she's my best friend. Honestly, when I was at my educational job, she got me through some hard sessions. Absolutely love my baby girl. So let's have a look at her old enclosure and see what's wrong with it, and let's set up her new enclosure. So this is Kiki's enclosure. It is a 4x2x2 enclosure. Kiki is pretty petite at the moment. She's always been really small ever since I got her, and that's because she is a little bit stunted. Eventually she's going to go in a 5x2x2 because she's super duper active. And what comes with being active is her just destroying all of her plants. So you can see this plant here, the snake plant, she has ripped out. Any plants near her heat source have dried out too much. The only one that is doing kind of okay is that one there, but also she's ripped that one out. I'm just going to go for the most robust plants that I can find, but I would really love for it to just be a bit more full. I was hoping that the plants would grow out and fill it out a bit more, but it's just not happened. I want to make sure it's nice and cluttered for her so she feels nice and comfortable when she's moving around, and I think Miss Kiki is really going to appreciate that. So I just started off by taking everything out of the enclosure, including the plants. Some of the plants I saved and some of them just went straight in the bin because they were too far gone. I also added in some more topsoil. I think what went wrong in my last setup is that the substrate wasn't deep enough, but also adding in more topsoil will give these plants a boost of nutrients. Then for the plant choices themselves, I've gone for Dracana, I think that's how it's pronounced, a spider plant, and also some succulents as well. All of these plants I have in my Woma Python enclosure, and they only need misting every few days, and that has been doing really well. So I thought, you know what, instead of trying something new, I'm just going to go for what I have already and what I know I can keep alive with my setups. Then I just added in some leaf litter, and that is basically just a food source for the cleanup crew. Now there was a cleanup crew still alive and thriving in this setup, but I did add in a few more just to keep that population up. I added some isopods, and then I also added some springtails as well. The next thing that I did was I just filled up her water bowl and gave the plants wants a good watering in, and I'm gonna keep an eye on them. This week I will probably miss every other day, and then hopefully I can go to every 3 days because that's what keeps her humidity where it needs to be at. And now it's time for Kiki to go into her enclosure and have an explore. Kiki is a little bit chunky. I can already hear the comments. She is a little bit overweight, and that's purely because when she was an educational animal, she needed feeding every week. Otherwise, her food response was just too high for the shows. But now that she's not having to do those anymore, she's on a diet and she's getting fed every 2 to 3 weeks, and she's been losing weight. But yeah, let's watch her explore. Okay, and that is everything for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like and you subscribe, and stay tuned because very soon I'll be doing an entire reptile room tour so you can see each one of my enclosures, not just Kiki's. So I will see you all later. Bye bye.